Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Simon.
My name's Dale.
And we are the co-owners of Renegade Surf Travel, and we also work as surf guides throughout the season along with our small team of other guiding frothers. In this video we are going to answer probably our most common question ahead of someone actually booking a trip, and that is, what level surfer am I and which trip is the best one for me to book?
Yeah, we get asked this a lot, and rightly so. It is a big decision. Like, it can be the difference between having the trip of your life and maybe being a little bit out of your pay grade, or surfing waves that aren't quite as exciting for you. Now, it's really, really important to note that, I'm sure you're aware, surfing doesn't have any metrics by which you can measure your level, how good you are, right? It's not like golf where you can be like Si and have a really, really good handicap and know you're sick at golf. It is far more subjective than that. Yeah. So what we've done, we've broken it down into 5 levels. And you need to have a look at our path to progression, and we're going to talk about it today, and see where you are on that chart. That said, even though you might be a level 3 surfer, there are some different nuances that we'll also go through to see whether you would be more suited to a level 3-4 trip or a level 2-3 trip.
Yeah, so what I'd recommend, actually pause the video now, hit the link in the description below to download our path to progression, and then as we're talking about these various skills, you'll actually be able to look at it and follow through.
Yeah.
It will also help you to understand where exactly you are on your surfing journey and kind of what the next steps are in order for you to progress. So before we jump into which trip is right for you, then the first thing we need to also touch on is the fact that our trips are not suitable for beginner surfers. The waves that we're surfing are pretty much exclusively breaking over coral reef or break with power and are not suitable for those learning to surf. And so if you're not able to perform all of the sort of skills that we're going to talk about for a level 2 surfer, then unfortunately our trips are not yet right for you. But we would love to see you on a trip in the future when you can tick those boxes.
Exactly.
So let's start off by sort of understanding, well, like, what makes a level 2 surfer? What level do you need to be to join our trip?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the key word to remember when you're talking about a level 2 surfer is they can surf independently. Yep. They do not need their coach sat shoulder to shoulder with them in the lineup saying, here's a good wave, there's a good wave, and then pushing them on that wave. That's not what our trips are about. Yes, you'll be in the water with your coach or with your guide most sessions, particularly during your coach session every day, and they will be pointing you in the right direction, but they won't be there for you every single wave, and they won't be there to push you on that wave. That's not what we're about. So independent is a key word. The next term would be that that person is a safe surfer. Not just safe for themselves, but they're safe with other surfers around them. You need to have a good understanding of surf etiquette. Yes, we understand that if you're surfing a mid-length, you probably can't duck dive that thing, and that's fine, but you should be able to turtle roll it when conditions allow. And only in very, very rare cases, if a set is going to land on your head and it's safe to do so, do you actually ditch the board. We've all been there, you know, even surfers that have surfed for years, we still ditch our board when we have to, but you cannot be doing it every time a set comes because it's not safe for you and it's not safe for other guests. And when it comes down to actual technical ability on that wave, a level 2 surfer can competently go and consistently go both right and left, front side and back side. They can trim down the line. They're probably not generating a heap of speed yet. They're not doing pumps, compressions and extensions, but they are able to trim and hold a line down the wave face and kick out safely when they decide to.
As well, if that all sounds a bit intimidating, as a sort of note of reassurance, like, we're talking about surf in the head high and below range when we're talking about a level 2 to 3 trip. We're not talking about heavy reef break surf like you might see of videos in Indonesia or bigger days in the Maldives. You know, these trips are for progressing your surfing safely if you're in that level 2 to 3 range. On any given day, even if a big swell comes through, we're going to be looking for sheltered corners that offer fun kind of performance surf in the head high and below range. As a step up from that, let's say you can do all of those things and therefore you probably consider yourself to be a level 3 surfer. So what is a level 3 surfer, and why would a level 3 surfer want to join a level 2 to 3 trip? Yeah,
good question. A level 3 surfer can do all of the things that we just listed for level 2 surfers, but they are surfing with a little bit more intent. They're beginning to do more maneuvers. So they can do a basic bottom turn, they're beginning to compress and extend to generate speed, both front side and back side, and they are starting basic cutbacks. Now, we're not expecting big roundhouse cutbacks where you hit the foam and rebound out with more speed. This is still very much horizontal surfing.
Yeah, so to summarize, the level 2 surfer, we're kind of expecting waves up to head high. Maybe a level 3 surfer, you're able to surf slightly overhead waves or maybe slightly punchier waves. You can generate your own speed. You can perform direction changes going both left and right, whether that's a bottom turn or a basic cutback. And you're kind of looking to take your surfing to the next level by improving those turns and starting to surf more critically.
Yeah.
So if you're able to do all those things, but you sort of consider yourself a more confident surfer or someone who wants to push their limit in probably the safest environment to do so, then you may also want to consider joining a level 3 to 4 trip. Now, as a level 3 surfer, you kind of have the luxury of either joining a level 2 to 3 trip or a level 3 to 4 trip. If you had a level 3 surfer asking you, well, which one should I do?
Yeah.
How would you kind of break that down?
I think the first thing I would look at is time of year. When do you want to travel? If you've got specific dates and a trip falls on those dates and it's level 2 to 3 trip and you're a level 3 surfer, great, you're going to have an epic time. Next, I would think about that person's confidence, as you alluded to. If they are someone who is used to being in heavy conditions, they will be fine on a level 3-4 trip. If that person is from the south coast of England and they've never really spent any time in reef breaks or hollow waves, barreling sections, they're probably going to be better off on the lower end of the scale just because they don't have that time in the water in heavier conditions. I would also think about that person's fitness. If that person is a little bit unfit, they get tired after an hour of surfing, maybe the level 2-3 trip is better, where they will be in softer waves. If this person is a level 3 surfer, but they can paddle all day, they can fight a current when there's bigger swell and a heavier spot, level 3-4 is probably a good choice.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think also something that we're kind of seeing more and more as well is surfers who kind of are predominantly coming from surfing wave pools. In that sort of scenario, unless again, you're confident you want to push your level, I would say for those surfers who have a bit less ocean experience or maybe less experience in bigger or heavier surf, they might have plenty of technical ability, but it still might be better for that surfer to join a level 2 to 3 trip.
I think a key point to mention is that the level of coaching won't differ between the trips. If a CT level surfer joined a level 2-3 trip, obviously they would be the best surfer on the trip and getting loads of waves, but the coach would still be coaching them on what things they need to work on. Our coaching is very individualized. Some of the workshops might be a little bit underneath their pay grade. They probably know surfboard fundamentals and stuff like this, but the level of coaching won't differ in any way.
Yeah, we're talking about what you did well, what you need to work on. It's not a sort of generic one-size-fits-all coaching program. So regardless of which trip you choose to come on as a level 3 surfer, you're going to get coaching tailored to your specific requirements.
Above that, we have level 4 surfers. Now, it's pretty obvious that this surfer is best suited towards a level 3-4 trip. That said, I've guided level 2-3 trips where we've had some level 4 surfers. They may be traveling with a friend or a partner who's a level 2-3. They've still had an epic time. The only difference is that on these trips, we weren't searching for heavy, hollow, barreling waves, but they were doing 8 turns on a wave, having an amazing time. So it's still smiles all round. But level 4 surfer, what are the main differences then between level 3 and level 4?
Yeah, so a level 3 surfer, we would say, is surfing horizontally. If you're a level 4 surfer, you've probably progressed onwards and are now surfing more vertically or fully vertically, which means less sort of out on the open face doing basic carving turns and more variety in your surfing. So deeper bottom turns, maybe snaps, maybe re-entries, floating over sections rather than trying to go down and around them, and maybe also looking for barrels, starting to get barreled, looking to surf bigger, slightly heavier waves.
Yeah, I would add confident in most conditions.
Yeah.
Level 4 surfers probably would be able to handle the majority of conditions that the Maldives throw at them. I'm just thinking back to a big swell we had last August. We had a lot of level 4 surfers. Yes, it was solid. Yes, even myself copped some big waves on the head where I was like, okay, keep calm. But I was never like fully out of my depth. So yeah, you can handle the range of conditions that Maldives throw at you, even if a solid swell comes through. Above that then, at the top of the scale for us is elite level surfing. We call this level 5 surfing. Our coaches, unsurprisingly, are level 5 surfers.
It's basically taking everything from level 4 and just turning it up to 11. So if a level 4 surfer was doing a snap in a vertical section, maybe a level 5 surfer is doing like a fin throw or even an air in that same section. So now obviously as a percentage of surfers, there aren't that many level 5 surfers. And if you are a level 5 surfer and you're watching this video, you might be thinking, is this trip for you? But we've actually had like a handful of level 5 surfers come on trips and they've had an absolute blast.
You're in wave paradise, you're getting coached. Like it doesn't matter if you're a level 2 or a level 5, you're gonna have an epic time.
Hopefully that helped you to decide on which trip to pick. But as always, if you've got any questions, either leave them in the comments below or head over to our website, renegadesurftravel.com. shoot us an email, get in touch. We're always happy to answer questions, jump on the phone, whatever it might be. So we look forward to hearing from you, and we hope to see you in the Maldives or in Indonesia in the near future.